Welcome to our high school game time segment. I'm joined now by prep expert Doug Ritchay. Doug, hard to believe we're already heading to level 3 of the playoffs.
Yeah, actually we're halfway through now of getting the state field set. I'll tell you what, there were a lot of good games last week in level 2. Some upsets, some blowouts that were surprises, and lots of good stuff. We got a lot of good teams left.
Yeah, and our game of the week was a great one as well. Wrightstown and Denmark turned out to be a little bit of everything in this one, Doug, including a pretty darn good game from Denmark quarterback John Defrey.
Yeah, you know what? Every time he touched the ball that night, I thought he was going to score a touchdown because it seemed, I mean, he was doing this almost every time, and he single-handedly almost beat Wrightstown. But what happened in the second half was Wrightstown figured something out. Defrey scored 1 touchdown, a 67-yard run. His other 7 rushes were for 3 yards, so they figured him out.
And the Tigers did their thing on offense as well in that second half.
Yeah, they ran for a ton of yards. Marty Ellis had an 80-yard touchdown run, lots of rushing yards. Hunter Kuso also had a big game. Wrightstown did what Wrightstown does. They run the ball well, and they tell you, try to stop us.
Yeah, and you got a chance to talk to Matt Binsfeld after the game.
Yeah, it was a great game. We're really fortunate it went our way. Denmark's a heck of a team. They're so physical and they're so well coached. We knew coming in this would be a tight game and that we'd have to have some real grit to pull it out, and we did.
They jumped on you right away, 21-8, and you couldn't stop them. But you did. You ended up stopping them. What changed after that moment? Because your team was totally different.
Well, I think, you talk about it all week as a coach about what a tough game it's going to be, but until you get out there and see it, sometimes the kids don't buy into what you're saying. But once we got out here, it took some getting used to, but then our kids really rallied to the cause. We just weren't tackling well and weren't getting to the ball as well as we needed to on defense.
So let's start looking ahead to level 3 here. We start in Division 1. That's where Bayport will face Appleton North. The winner gets either Arrowhead or Mukwonago. On the other half of the bracket, as we look here in Division 1, Kimberly going to play Fond du Lac. The winner of that game either gets Marquette or Franklin. So let's start with Kimberly and Fond du Lac. Doug, 11-0 Papermakers coming off a 34-0 win over Madison LaFollette.
Yeah, I mean, they're expected to win because they haven't lost in 2 years. It's nothing what Kimberly's done a great job this year, or Fond du Lac has done a great job, but Kimberly's been so good. People are expecting this, and they're going to have to find a way to stop that running game with Evan Duxon right there, Blair Mulholland.
Yeah, that's something 11 different teams have tried to do this year against Kimberly, and nobody has had the answer for that one. Another pretty good matchup in Division 1 as well between 2 local teams. 11-0 FRCC champion Bayport taking on Appleton North, who got a 21-3 convincing road win over Hudson.
I'll tell you what, these teams are not conference teams, but they feel like they are. Every year they play each other in the playoffs. So you don't believe me, go look. It's every year. And a lot of times Appleton North gets the upper hand, but it's going to be really interesting to see how Bayport deals. North is playing probably its best football right now.
That's kind of going to be the unstoppable force against the immovable object. Bayport's offense getting almost 50 points per game, while Appleton North pretty darn good on defense.
Yeah, but North went to Hudson last week, won a big road game. I think that says a lot about where they are right now.
Yeah, peaking at the right time, I suppose. Well, in Division 2, we only have one team remaining, but they're a good one, Doug. Menasha, the #1 seed, will play Superior at DC Everest. 4 p.m. game on Saturday. If they can get past the Spartans, a date with Homestead or Cedarburg awaits. And talking about those undefeated Bay Conference champions, Doug, they got a couple tough tests here in the playoffs.
Yeah, and how do you read that? They've been tested, so they're ready, or are they kind of on the edge right now? And they were a 2-point conversion from losing to Hortonville last week. Well, so they're a team that's been pushed. Sometimes that's a good thing, though.
Well, and they better have their pass defense ready.
Yep.
Superior has the state leader in touchdown passes with 38, threw for over 3,000 yards so far this season.
Yeah, we see James Morgan all the time throw for a lot of yards. That was a game right there with Ashwaubenon. And Superior, Menasha was getting a quarterback that's going to throw the ball a lot. So obviously Menasha's going to have to deal with pass defense. It'll be a real interesting setup.
But hey, they got Tyler Johnson to practice against all week in practice, so maybe a little bit of an edge there. Well, in Division 3, we got Luxembourg-Casco. They're facing off with West De Pere. This one's a rematch of our Week 3 game of the week, Doug.
Yeah, and that week, West De Pere 42-zip. It's kind of like a Kimberly thing. You just expect West De Pere to move on. LC's done a really good job here. 2 losses, Menasha, West De Pere. A lot of teams lose to Menasha and West De Pere. So LC hasn't done anything wrong. They're just going to kind of be up against a so-called giant on Friday.
Yeah, and the Spartans have won 5 in a row, so maybe a little bit of momentum going into that game for them. They'll need it, though. West De Pere's offense and defense pretty good. Well, moving on into Division 4. This was a bracket that featured 11 local teams, our favorite number here at Fox 11. When the playoffs began, Wrightstown versus Freedom in this one. They get the winner of Somerset St. Croix Central for a state title berth. The only team to beat Wrightstown is remaining alive on the other half of the bracket. That's Little Chute. The 3 seed gets 5 seed Spencer Columbus Catholic. If they win, they'll get the winner of Lodi and Marshall. Now, Wrightstown, Doug, we talked about their comeback win over Denmark a little earlier. They're the only team to beat Freedom this season.
2019, so that tells you how this game should go on Friday. I actually saw Clint Crewalt over the weekend, and he's ready. But obviously, this is level 3. This is going to be a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be one, the first time a missed extra point decided. I wouldn't expect anything different this time around, would you?
Well, I hope not. I hope the kickers do well, everyone does well, and the best team wins on the field.
Well, on to Division 5. Only one local team remains. There's 9-2 Bonduel travels to Amherst Bears. Lost to the Falcons 54-19, week 3 of the season. Pretty tough test for Bonduel coming up.
It is. I think it's good that they've seen them before. It's not good that they lost by 35, but you can sometimes be intimidated by a team if you've never seen them, and they're kind of playing like Amherst is. But Bonduel, maybe they have a shot. Amherst really stuck it to Shiocton this year too, so that tells you how good they are.
Yeah, nice to see the Bears winning a couple playoff games. On to Division 6. Speaking of Shiocton, our last 2 teams in Division 6 are Shiocton, the defending state champs, and St. Mary Springs. These 2 have combined to win the last 3 Division 6 titles, Doug.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I think the winner of this might make it 4, because we know Springs, we know Shiocton. They lose players. Players come back, and guess what happens? They win a lot of games. This is going to be a dandy. This is like a state championship game. Always
fun when those 2 meet. Well, as we discussed, lots of great options for our level 3 game of the week, but Doug, we can pick only one. Do the honors for us.
Just one? Okay. Our game of the week will be Fond du Lac at Kimberly. We're going to be live from the game on Fox 11 at 5 p.m. Friday. Extended highlights and post-game reaction at 10 p.m. on CW14. It's going to be a great game. If you go to it, say hi to me.
Well, welcome back. The state cross-country meets were held this weekend in Wisconsin Rapids, Doug.
Yeah, and we had some good performances from local teams, including a pair of state titles.
Yeah, the Notre Dame girls won state in Division 2. Mariah Ellinger, 9th place finish, the top finisher for them. Two Rivers finished 4th. Christy Turp with a 4th place finish. Freedom also with a top 10 finish, as did Winneconne. Moving on in Division 3, another state champion there, Doug.
Yeah, that would be Lords, state champion for the 4th time in 5 years. We've seen these girls run at state track. They just know how to run. They know how to put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, Nora Keller, the top finisher there for Oshkosh Lords, so congratulations to them. Over on the boys' side, Kimberly finished in the top 5. Nicholas Rink was 6th overall. Green Bay Preble in the top 10 at 9th overall in Division 1, with Daniel Lalazerne with a top 5 finish. He placed 4th overall. In Division 2, Notre Dame, another good finish there on the boys' side, too.
5th overall, not bad. The girls 1st, the boys 5th, so a lot of good stuff going there, and obviously Winneconne takes 7th.